Okay, well, I'm gonna go with my World of the Apocalypse LARP videos, and I'm going to move into the next mode, which is going to be some of the Farah. The first one I want to approach is the one that's probably most playable with World of the Apocalypse itself, which is the Corax, or the Were-Ravens. It takes a special breed of player to play a Were-Raven. World of the Apocalypse is a bloody game. It's all about fighting. It's about a struggle, adversity, pain, loss, being the underdogs. The Corax is something totally different. Not just in form, not just in outlook. You're not a fighter. Never really will be. In theory. Corax don't really get a lot of their powers from Luna like the Guru do. They get theirs from Helios. And that puts them in a really weird position because Silver doesn't affect them. Or I should say, Silver has no extra adverse effects like it does with Guru, werewolves. But Gold does. It has the same exact effect because of their ties to Helios. To understand how to, what it is to play a Corax, you got to understand a few things about them. I'll start by mentioning their camps. It is kind of important. There's the Sun Lost, which I don't really agree with this being listed as a playable camp. These are the ones that basically have kind of given up on their duty and they've just kind of flown into the umbra and they just keep going. They're kind of like the what the hell is the name of them? There's a camp in the Bone Nars that pretty much just give up and leave. Then you got the Morrigan. There's only 3 Morrigan in this camp at any given time because if you know the history of the Morrigan, it's basically a bloody warrior woman that has 3 faces. Therefore, there are 3 Corax in this group at any given time, and they each represent one of those facets of the Morrigan, the Marigu. Then there's the Murder's Daughters. They are Morrigan wannabes. A lot of them are pushing towards getting into that same role. Then you've got the Hermetic Order of Swift Light and the Chasers, both of which are smaller groups that, well, they basically follow the ways of the Corax. That leads right into what their version of the litany is, really. You got to understand it to understand how to play a Corax. Number 1, there are no secrets. They don't believe there should be. They will ferret them out at every opportunity, and they are very, very tenacious about doing so. They believe in share what you know. What good is information if you don't give it out? Teach them what they'll learn. Corax don't have time to waste their time, so they will teach to others what they're willing to learn. And that's it. Protect the eggs. Corax don't come from 2 mammals. Therefore, the Corax part of them, the Raven part of them, still has the egg effect. And it's part of the reason when a Corax gets pregnant, they don't change forms at all. Because they don't know what it'll do, or they don't want to know what it'll do. So first and foremost, they have to protect the eggs, because it's protecting the species. Remember why you're here. The Corax are the eyes of Gaia. They are there to go out and be the memory and thought. They are to see what is happening and bring it back. They are supposed to basically know everything for Gaia, because if Gaia were omniscient, the various spirit animals would not have tricked her or gotten away with tricking her to get their powers, which allowed them to become wares. Bear witness. Corax believe that there should be a witness to everything that happens with every person. The truth matters. Corax want the truth. They believe that it is their duty to push the truth because they are the eyes. Therefore, they must see what really happened. Everything's part of the cycle. Basically, everything dies, and it possibly comes back. So, when somebody dies, they view them as having moved on, and therefore their bodies are just hunks of meat. Don't play favorites. They serve everybody in their own way as the eyes. They have one particular power that a lot of people don't like. It's called drinking eyes. If they drink one eye, they can see the good, the last, they see the last visions of the dead person, but they also get the good from that person. If they drink the other eye, they get the bad from that person. When they say don't play favorites, it means they won't just try to take the memories of a Gaian Guru to preserve them. They'll do it with a dead Fomori, a dead Black Spiral Dancer. They'll do what they need to because they are not playing favorites. Fly. You have to soar and be and experience that part of your heritage as a Corax. Laugh. If you're not having fun, you become morbid, and you're going to lose sight of what is happening there. You're going to fall into your own form, the Corax form of a Hirano. Those right there kind of illustrate how you have to think as a Corax. And it kind of flows over into how you have to play it, because you're not gonna be, a neck ripping, chest crushing, furry tank of destruction like the Guru. Nope. You're an annoying little twit that tries to ferret out every secret and does recon work and all that kind of crap. Some tribes are better suited. The Geta Fenris and the Fianna seem to have special places in their hearts for the Corax. Others, not necessarily. So when if you are gonna be allowed to play a Corax, and if you think you've got what it takes, you have to take some things into consideration. There's certain things that are unique about Corax. There's some abilities that they get. Flight, gossip, cryptography, navigation. All of these are almost indigenous to the Corax themselves, and you don't tend to see any of those amongst Guru themselves. They don't have pure breed. They do have something called lineage. It's kind of like taking pure breed and ancestors and mixing it into one, and that's kind of how the Corax track themselves, because they absorb that. Languages are a big thing for them, so linguistics. When it comes down to it, they go everywhere, so they tend to know a lot of languages, and they're willing to teach them. They do have a couple of interesting things backgrounds that are out there too. Like one's called Other People's Secrets, the other one's Umbral Maps. These are unique in the way that they're played out, and not many others tend to get them. So you have to, take that into consideration when you're making your character, is how unique are you going to make your Corax. And you have to understand it. When you go to a game, if there's a fight going on, you're going to be the recon. You're going to be flying overhead, or you're going to be trying to see what's going on. You're going to be trying to get a view of it. You are going to be worse than the most attentive Galliard in that regard. You want to know what's happened. You're going to want to, if somebody dies and you didn't see it, you're going to want to drink their eyes because you want to know exactly what happened. You're going to want to spread that information. If somebody's involved in a scandal, you're going to want to spread it. If you catch a whiff that there might be a scandal, it becomes an obsession. And you should be playing that out. You should be very flighty, and you should be playing that out as well. You've got to have that bird mannerism to you. You've got to have that bird mentality. Out of all of the changing breeds, Corax are probably the easiest to play in a Guru game. However, they're still damn difficult. And if you don't think you're up to it, you're better off trying something else to get yourself moving towards it, because a badly played Corax is something that can just crush the genre for it. I think that's all I got right now on it. I don't mind Corax. I would allow a Corax in my game. I just don't like when they're not played well. And a lot of people don't play them well. They either make them too secretive or too combative. Okay, that's it, guys. So that's Corax. Not sure what I'm going to move into next. I might move into the other things that I think are compatible. Well, I mean, not a lot of them are compatible, but what's next most compatible with Guru. So, later, guys.